Hello, hello, hello. Hello, my friends. How you doing? Come on in, grab a pen and notebook if you haven't already. I'm Kat Miller, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to turn your discovery calls into paying clients and how to do it without being really awkward and weird and pushy. No one likes that, right? No one wants to have that kind of conversation with anyone. So a lot of you put off doing discovery calls and strategy sessions, sales conversations, because you don't want to come across as really salesy. And I totally get it. It's the worst when you get into a conversation with someone and you're like, wow, they're fully pushing their product or their service on me. So we don't want that. We don't want any pressure. We don't want any awkwardness, pushiness, none of that. You don't have to do that to make it in business. I talk to a lot of people who have this idea that business is so cutthroat and they've got to be so brutal and not let someone think about it, not let someone change their mind, not let them talk to their partner. That's not, yes, there's some sales techniques and sales gurus teaching that kind of thing, but you don't have to do it like that. If you want more of a relaxed sales process, a really beautiful conversation between two people to see if they're the right match for each other, the right fit for each other, to just figure out, get to know each other and see, just have a really great conversation. It's almost like a coaching conversation where you're helping someone work through what they want, where they are right now, and what's the block in the way. And I have a really simple process for this that I want to share with you. And the reason I'm so passionate about sharing this process is because for years and years, I was so confused and overwhelmed with so many different sales methods. I don't know about you. Hey, Josh. Hey, Hillary. Great to have you here. I don't know about you, but I've learned so many things about sales over the years. I've listened to books from Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, and I was trained at Les Mills, one of the biggest gyms in the world, on their sales system. So I've done multiple courses. I've spent so much money, and you probably have as well. You've probably looked into all different types of sales methods. You might already have a great sales process and a script that you follow, but there's always room for improvement. And I also think that there's a lot of room for simplification, really stripping back what matters when it comes to sales, like really what matters. What's just the fluff, what's all these different reframes and overcoming objection techniques that are confusing, and they say this and you're like, oh, which frame do I need to use, and how can I manipulate and twist their arm and get them to sign up? Like, it's none of that. It's super simple. And I kind of took a combination of four different sales courses that I did. So Les Mills, which has one of the best sales scripts that I've ever seen. It's incredible. I also did a course with Nettie D. Lakovic. Shout out to Nettie D. She's an amazing salesperson, one of Australia's top salespeople. And I did her 12-month course called Entrepreneurial Sales Success. Learned some incredible methods. I did Jeffrey Slater's 3-day course called The Heart of Sales in Byron Bay and learned some really amazing methods. I did Entrepreneur Now with Matt Catling, picked up more there. I've done Inspire to Buy with Authentic Education. And so all of these things have given me lots of really great methods, questions. And then also I've had thousands of discovery calls. And I've been able to see the questions that are the most powerful, the most potent and effective, because sales conversations are all about asking the right questions and making sure that you're super curious with the person and that you know the direction to take them. So you're leading the conversation. In fact, there's 3 essential elements of ways you need to be when you're selling. The first one is that you need to be present. You need to be really present, not distracted, not thinking about the client that you had before you or the client that you've got after you or the meeting that you've just come from or the lunch that you're about to have. None of that. You need to be fully present, fully in rapport with that person and matching and mirroring and picking up what they're saying and also what they're not saying, right? Because everybody who comes in front of you has a completely different personality, like characteristics, habits, learning style, different needs, different wants, different pain points, different desires, different emotional triggers. And it's just this beautiful game. I love sales. It's so much fun. Just give me a Y in the chat box if you actually love sales. Hey, Caroline, great to have you here. Give me a Y in the, not the chat box, in the comments box if you love sales. Now, some of you don't, and that's okay. Like, I get it. I had to really work on the mindset of reframing what sales is. So if you're not a big fan yet, don't worry, we can get there. So just give me a Y if you love sales. The second thing that you need to be is you need to be prepared. And the way you get prepared is by having a proven sales process, a process that works. You do not want to get in front of a potential prospect and completely stuff it up. So when you're prepared, you've practiced, you've got a really great sales script, and with that script, you're able to deviate because the sales conversation is dynamic. You don't want to be so scripted that you are like a robot. You're a human. So the person's going to dive all over the place, and you might have your questions all in order, but you need to go, oh, they're over here now. They're in this part of the structure of the conversation. I need to meet them there and then know how to bring them back. So this is such a fun game. To me, it's like a puzzle that you've got to figure out, and it's really enjoyable. And when you understand human behavior, you can see what's happening, what triggers are happening. Like if you're holding them in the consequences, you feel the pain. You've got to know how long to hold them there before you jump them out. The chemistry of sales is tension. So you want to be prepared with really powerful questions that work, not to try and trick someone, but to help them work through the blocks, the things that are in the way of them and their result. Because really it's not just that they're saying yes or no to you, they're saying yes or no to themselves. And that's a massive reframe. Are you going to be the person that helps them overcome whatever is in the way to them investing in themselves? Because money's everywhere. You go to any ATM, you can get out money, but there's only one of you. And so you need to show them why you're different, why you're credible, and you need to make sure that you do that when they're in the buy zone. And this is an emotional place that people get into and they're ready to buy, and you've got to be able to pick it. There's psychological cues that you can look for, and I teach all of these in my program. But in this training, I want to show you more about a really simple process that you can put in place, and this is part of being prepared. The other thing that you need to be on a sales conversation is passionate. And by passionate, I'm not talking about passionate about yourself, passionate about your product or service, although of course we need to be confident and love our product or service, but we need to be passionate about the person and about the person's result, the person's transformation, the breakthrough that they're going to have. That's what we've got to be passionate about. If you're passionate about that and about them, you will do what it takes to help them overcome that belief system. You won't leave them stuck in their pain. So don't be super passionate about yourself, but be passionate about them and how, if there isn't a right match between you, your product or service, and them, then you want to be super passionate. You want to be enthusiastic and confident. Imagine getting on a sales conversation with someone who's not enthusiastic, who's not confident, who's not passionate. You feel it. It's like, it's flat and it's boring and it's weird. So be present, be prepared, and be passionate. So I'm going to take you through the 6-step process that I use. And the reason I love this process is because you can be out and about anywhere. You can be at a networking function, you can be on a phone call, on a Zoom call, and you can just whip this out because it's super easy to remember. The problem that I had, the challenge I had with learning all these sales methods was that I'd get into a sales conversation and I was confused. It's like, oh, what part do I use now? Where this process I teach is one word and it's super easy to remember because it's A, B, C, D, E, F. If you know your ABCs, you'll be absolutely fine. So grab a pen and paper if you haven't already and write these down. So I call this the authentic selling formula. The authentic selling formula. And before I go into what they are, I want to preface it in context that you have the right motives, which is to help someone get what they want. Influence is all about positive change. It's not about manipulating someone. It's not trying to sell to someone who has no need or no desire for your product or offer. This person, so basically these 6 steps I'm going to take you through, we're assuming this person has a problem you can solve. This person has a need, has a want. They want to be on the sales call. Like, they've booked into your calendar. They are like, tell me about what you offer. And you know with integrity that what you're going to offer them is going to really help them. So I just want to preface it with that. Okay, the first thing is the A. It's where are you? Where are you? So if I'm having a chat with someone at a networking event, I want to know where they are. Like, where, I'm not going to dive into a big sales conversation, but these are even to know whether you are a potential match. It's like when you're dating, right? You want to know, what do you like? Where have you been? Where are you currently? So where are you? So range of questions that you can use in this A category. So when they come on the call, I say something like, thanks for booking in this call. Is it okay with you if I just outline how I'd like the conversation to go? Is that cool? Okay, great. First of all, is it okay if I take some notes? Awesome. So I'm just setting up the call. Okay, and are you comfortable? Have you got everything you need? Have you got a glass of water? Okay, cool. So out of curiosity, could you tell me a little bit about your current situation? So that's a question that I use in the where are you category. Or I might say, when it comes to your business, what's going on for you at the moment? I might say, why did you choose to contact me specifically right now? What are your circumstances right now? What are you looking into? How long has this been a problem? How is this affecting you? So I have a whole toolkit of questions, and depending what the person says, I can look at my toolkit of questions. If I'm on a Zoom call, I have the document open and I just follow the structure. If I'm out and about and I haven't got anything in front of me, then I'm just like asking, where are you questions. So they just start rolling off your tongue. So where are you? And then I'll say, okay, great, tell me more. Out of curiosity, why is that important to you? And I'll just dig deeper. So where are you? Tell me about that. How's that affecting you? Okay. How is that impacting on your family? How's it affecting your health? How long has this been a problem? So you just really get to know their current situation. And it's not until you really feel like you understand their current situation that you move on to the next one, which is the B. So you validate, you give some validations before you move on to the B. So you might, okay, great. Just to let you know that back up. So the validation might be, okay, I just want to make it clear that I've understood this correctly. So you've said that blah, blah, blah. So you might repeat back what they've said. Or you might say something like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get that. Okay, for sure. And you want to go into some more digging questions like, can you tell me a little bit more specifically about that? Could you describe that a little bit more to me? I'm curious. Could you tell me a bit more about that? So you just keep going until you feel like you've got a really good picture. Then we move on to the B. So we've got A, where are you? B, where do you want to be? So I'll say things like, what's the specific outcome that you want? How many clients do you want? How much money do you want to make? So if you're a weight loss coach, how much weight do you want to lose? How many, what dress size do you want to be? What's an outfit that you want to fit in? So you get really specific, and then you start chunking it up even higher. Like, what would your life be like if you solved this problem? How would it affect your family, your health, your business, your work, your emotions? Like you think about the whole wheel of life. Because everything affects everything, right? Like if things aren't good in our health, it affects our relationship. If our things aren't good in our business, it affects our mindset. So everything affects everything. So I like to look at the areas of life, not just business, but I look at, how's this impacting on your social life? How's this impacting on your emotions, your sleep, etc. And then I really get them to paint this picture of where they want their life to be. So I like going really big vision. Tell me about your big vision. What's the ultimate vision you have for your life? And I get them talking about it and feeling it and seeing it. And I go, and what are you seeing? And how are you feeling? And what are you saying to yourself? And I get this really vivid description of their future. I spend quite a lot of time there. And then with the B, I go into the benefits. Okay, so if you got this, what are some of the benefits of that? So the B is where do you want to be? And then we also add benefits. Okay, great. And tell me, like, how else would that impact you? And then I go into the C, and the C has 3 different parts. So the C is what's the challenge in the way? So I'll say, okay, what's the roadblocks? What's preventing you from getting that? What's not working right now? Where are you most struggling? Where are you frustrated? And I have a whole heap of questions that I ask about the challenge. What else is not working? What's holding you back? One of my favorite questions is, where do you need the most help? Is it strategy? Is it execution? Is it skill acquisition? Where is it that you need the most help? Where's the gaps? Where's the holes? What have you tried that hasn't worked for you? So the C is a challenge, and then we also go into consequences. And this is where amateurs will jump out and they just rush to their solution. But you want to stay in the consequences. It's the tension. Tension is the chemistry of sales. So with the consequences, you actually want to take them to the pain. And it sounds horrible, but this is so that they can see a real contrast between the benefits and the consequences if they don't change. Their beautiful vision that they've just told you, and then what's in the way. And if you don't keep them in what's in the way, and you just jump them out because you don't want to feel uncomfortable, then you'll lose it. So you've got to put your own feelings aside and just let them feel the trajectory that they're on. So what's it costing you to not have this problem solved? How is it an issue? Why is it important for you to solve it? What would it be like if you didn't solve this problem? What would life be like for you in 12 months? You might feel really weird saying it, but you just need to practice. You just need to hold that space for them to actually explore, because they might not sign up with you, and that's totally cool. But if they have got this conviction that they need to change, and if they don't change, this is the direction their life is heading, you know you've done your job. You haven't jumped out and made it easier and lighter on yourself. You've actually been with them and held that space. It's like coaching. So if you don't do this, what would be the consequences? What would it cost you? What would it cost you emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically if you don't change? And then the third C is the commitment. Okay, so you've told me this. Do a bit of a recap, like validate. Why are you committed to making it happen right now? What's your commitment level? Give me a 1 to 10. 10, fully committed. 1, don't want to change. And then you might say, okay, may I ask, why did you pick that number? Or one of my favorite questions, why didn't you pick a lower number? And then they'll give you all the reasons why it's important to them. Most people pick an 8, and they'll say, okay, that's great, that's high, 8. Okay, why didn't you pick a lower number? Oh, because I really want to change. I want to do this. Okay, cool. And now they're talking themselves into the change. So we've done the ABC, and that's question, 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 question. Imagine you've got a question cap on your coach. You take the question cap on, you put the director's cap on, and now you want to be the leader. You were the leader before because whoever's asking the questions has the control of the conversation. But the ABC is very much curious. The DEF is leader. It's telling them how you can help them. So the D stands for direct, and you direct it. So you say something like, okay, so you've told me this, this, this. So imagine this. You've changed, you've solved that problem. Instead of this, you've achieved this. And what that means for you is this. And what that ultimately means for you is this. If I was able to show you a way to avoid those problems that you talked about, those challenges, avoid all those long-term and short-term consequences, get the benefits and gain all those benefits that you just talked about, would you like to hear about it? Okay, great. Well, I'll walk you through what it would be like to work together to solve these problems and get XYZ result. And I'll share with you what I feel are the best next steps for you. How does that sound? Okay, cool. So I have a XYZ program that I think will really help you, and then you go into sharing about your offer. Now, I insert something here called a CPR. CPR, you know, like giving someone CPR. I talk about my credibility, I talk about my process, and I talk about the results. So credibility, I'll say something like, well, over the last 10 plus years. I've been coaching hundreds of people, thousands actually now, and I've been so grateful to help thousands of people get results. And in that time, I've discovered that there are three main problems people face, and these are the problems. So I created this process called the Client Attraction Accelerator, and then I walk them through my process. It's a signature system that I have to help them solve that problem. And then I share some typical results that people have. So I'll say people get fully booked with clients, people learn how to run their own online events, conversion events, people learn how to sell authentically and attract more clients, blah, blah, blah. So I talk about the credibility of why they should listen to me, why would they sign up with me, what my process is, how I coach. So I'll say I've got one-on-one coaching, and I've also got group coaching. I've got an online program that you get with it. You also get the support, you get this, you get that, you get workshops, etc. So that's kind of sharing, directing it, giving that CPR. Then I say for the investment, there are two options. You can pay in full for XYZ, or you can go onto a payment plan, which is XYZ. And this is what you get for it. You get benefit, 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 benefit. How did that kind of fit with what you had in mind? And then I just wait and see what they say. Then have a conversation. If they want to proceed, then I'll engage, which is the E. The E is engage. So I'll engage them and I take them through the enrollment process. You might say the E is also enroll. So I'll say, fantastic, I'd like to officially welcome you to the community or the program. Let me grab your details and we'll get you started. I process it there on the phone. If they want to go ahead, okay, great. You've got your card on you, nice, process it. And then the F stands for finalize. So with the finalize, I'll just say, can I grab, the finalize is the payment piece. And then I go into a review. So I'll say, so here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to email you a partnership agreement so that you can read that, sign it, and email it back, and you can get started straight away. I'll send you the logins for the online course. Did you have any questions at all? Okay, great. So you go through that finalize process. So I'll just take you through it again briefly and recap it. So the A is where are you now? The B is where do you want to be? What are the benefits of that? So get them to really unpack where they want to be, and then what are the benefits? C is, so we've got 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C. C is the challenge. What's the challenge in the way? What are the consequences if you don't solve it? And what's your commitment to actually solving it? So those are the question, that's the questioning part of the sales process. Then you go into direct, engage, and finalize. That's the actual sharing of what your offer is. You want to spend probably about 80% of your time in the ABC section, because that is where you are gathering all the data, making a call on whether you actually want to work with them or not. If you don't, at that point, that's where you can take it in a different direction and say, hey, I don't feel like we're a right fit, or whatever it is that you're going to say. If you don't want to work with them, give them some help them out. In between that is your CPR, so your credibility, process, and results. Engage, and then finalize. And then send them out something as soon as possible and get them going because they're keen. So I hope that really helped you. I hope that process is clear and simple. What I love about it is that I can be in a conversation which is dynamic and going all over the place, and I can go, where are we? Okay, Kat, bring it back to the B. They're still in the A, bring it to the B. So you've got to keep the conversation moving. It doesn't need to be a really, really long process. Like, yes, go deeper, yes, understand it, but as soon as you feel like you get it, you get this current situation, you get their vision of where they want to be, you understand the challenges, you don't have to know all the details, you just have to know enough to be able to, when you go into that direct section, you've got the keywords, you feel like you fully understand it. This can happen very easily in 30 to 45 minutes. You don't need longer than that. If they do want to think about it, I say not a problem, and I book them in for another catch up, usually 15 minutes. But that's all you need, literally all you need. Anything longer than that, and they're probably getting stuck in story, or you're getting stuck in sharing too much content, or you're going too much into coach mode. So if you would like to, oh, hey Justin, great to have you on here. Hello. Yeah, if you would like me to help you get more discovery calls, so attract more content, if you'd like me to help you go through the sales session and apply it and personalize it for you so that you feel really super confident on the call, because you need to be confident, you need to have that passion, and you need to be prepared and have all this in place so that you can have a high conversion conversation. I do offer a 45-minute session, which is a clarity session. If you want to apply for that, if you haven't already, I'll just pop that in the chat box, and I would love to catch up with you and personalize it for you. Josh says, super helpful. I'm writing a sales and service blueprint at the moment, and this is an awesome way to remember an effective sales process. So good. I'm so glad, Josh. It's awesome. I've got notes on it if you want. So great to have you here, Hilary in Brizzy. And Justin is another one of my clients in the Ukraine. So we've got lots of countries here. Great to have you here. Please reach out if you've got any questions. Pop them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, just give me a hashtag replay so I know that you've watched it. What did you love about it? What are you going to take action on? And also, if you've got any requests for other topics or content that you'd like me to cover, I speak about 5 main things. I talk about mindset and strategy, marketing, compelling content, so how to language in a compelling way for your copywriting, presenting, and influence. So anything around those types of topics, how to get more clients, if you want to know anything from the technical through to the big picture strategy, let me know, because I show up here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock and share training. So great to have you here. Have a beautiful evening. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.